What's up, Canopy143? Jeremy here with my buddy Tyler Rowland. Now listen, I don't know where you've been over the last 48 hours, but Ashland has literally jumped on a national map for a lot of cool reasons. So my guy Tyler here, one of the coolest CPAs, accountants in the tri-state, but he's got a passion. He has a hobby that uses his creativity. You like to call, when I say call, you like to announce radio, television, sporting events, right?
Yes.
Football, I mean, you've been the voice of semi-pro football teams in the area. I mean, any sport that's on TV, they call and say, Tyler, can you help do some color commentary and stuff? So how long have you been doing that?
This will be, well, I've done semi-pro football for 3 years, and this is my first year doing basketball. And the basketball wasn't really planned. We're in tax season right now.
Yep.
We have to be focused. And at one of the girls' games, I was asking Dickie Martin for advice on announcing and how to further my game at it. And he's like, why don't you call some girls' games with me? So then that led to that, and then my town contacted me shortly afterward.
So yesterday, and now of course we're filming this on Wednesday, so this was Tuesday night. You're seeing this on Thursday morning. But on Tuesday, you're like, normal day, and they're like, Tyler, can you come on and help us with the West Carter-Ashland game? Now, cool backstory. At the time, I think Ashland's 26-0. Now, this is their 27th game playing West Carter. So there's a streak on the line, right?
Right.
Well, then during the game, Ashland's getting down a little bit. And it's almost looking like West Carter's going to pull this David Goliath upset. But then stuff happens. Ashland starts burying some good shots. And let's just break the story this way. By the time you went to bed Tuesday night, the game, your voice, and the atmosphere that you were in was featured as the #1 play on ESPN SportsCenter's Top 10. Dude, what's that like?
Well, it was a great, just to be, even if we weren't broadcasting the game, just to be there.
Yeah.
We weren't, because you can hear the first thing Chris and I screaming, and that was more just the disbelief.
The reaction.
They're down 51-41 late in the game, and we were just like, wow. And Chris Poland, he's been awesome to work with.
Yep.
Cross-section. We've been on there, had some great sports discussion, and then, of course, with this, and Chris was,
good calls.
He's very knowledgeable about basketball. I was honored he'd asked me, if that would have been a regular game, it would have been cool to just have that opportunity. And so him, and of course both being Ashland grads, just to have that moment, and for Cole especially. And Cole is wise beyond his years. The humility he
this
showed,
guy shot 3/4 length of the court to win the game. That's what we're talking about, this top play. Inbounds, 2.1 seconds left?
Yes.
Inbounds, he gets it, kind of goes up the side a little bit. Between the far free throw line and half court, launches a prayer. And it touches nothing but net. It's boom. And I've got to believe that the city of Ashland and surrounding who are watching that, because there was over 1,100 people watching live online, let alone the gym, and I say this, I don't say this to exaggerate, the millions of people who have seen SportsCenter, the millions of people who have seen it online now. It's just disbelief. Like, it's one of those magical sports moments where you talk about it for years, but you were there, and now your voice is a part of it. So now you're kind of linked to this play. And again, here's a kicker. It's his side hobby. It's his passion. And so we've been talking about creativity all month for kids. Guess what? Keep going with your passion. Keep going with what you love, because eventually it's going to make a cool moment, right? Who would have thought yesterday? We went to lunch yesterday. Who would have thought yesterday we're talking about lunch? I think we'll go to this West Carter game. Who knew that in 24 hours, 10 million people will have heard your voice?
That is Cole did. Cole did. It's kind of weird. I kind of think of it as, that one person doing all the work, and on that play, Cole, of course, his teammates did a great job running around. Colin did a great job taking the double team and playing a decoy, and then when he got that ball, that was just, he did all the work on that, and of course you got Chris and I just screaming, and that atmosphere, was just such that is to be able to do that in a game. I mean, they're trailing 40-28. I mean, West Carter, after Ashland led 9-0, I mean, West Carter outscored them 51-32. I mean, to make it a 51-41 game. And I mean, Ashland looked everything but beat. And
Yep.
Cole Villers, I mean,
Scratched.
Chris and Chris's idea again, I mean, it was Chris Polam who said, let's go interview this kid. And I mean, the first thing he starts talking about, I mean, is faith in Christ. He starts talking about, just a humble kid. I mean, that kid is
Good heart.
I mean, they say he's a great basketball player, which he is, but it's nothing compared to him as a kid. I mean, he is a great kid, and I mean, one that is wise beyond his years.
Proud to have him in this area.
Yes.
Well, man, listen, what would you say to kids right now, or students who are, maybe they're drawing, or maybe they're writing songs, or maybe they're just doing this little thing on the side that keeps them happy as a hobby? How does it feel now that this thing that's made you happy, that was your own, has now given you a life moment, like has truly given you something that you'll never forget? How can we encourage kids to keep going with what makes them happy?
I think to keep at it, like you
Yeah.
mentioned, because I just think I look at, I mean, this having just a lifetime memory, and it's not so much even being on the air, it's more just getting to see Villers like that and the involvement with the basket. There's just something about the boys and the girls. The girls coach, I mean, and I'll add Julia Parker on the girls
2,000
side.
points, right?
That's just, I mean, unbelievable. And I mean, she's a great kid. And of course, Bill Bradley, I mean, a
man.
friend and like you said, a great man. And I mean, just to have the involvement with that this year, it's just been, I think of this time a year ago. My mistake was, I mean, because there was, and of course you know all about this, a host of events, including the loss of my father. It led to a rough stretch. My mistake was I wasn't the Tyler Rowland that tries to stay busy and active and get after it 12 to 14 hours a day. I let it get me down. And when I was determined, I mean, to get it together and to keep going at it and keep going hard, and just, I mean, regardless of what the result was, I mean, and of course, again, I mean, Villers did all the work on that. I mean, it's because Chris and I have gotten a lot of messages, but it was Villers who did all the work. And I mean, hopefully though, with because earlier in the month when we were talking about this, I was thinking of something with football related. So I mean, this is just a total stunner coming in here, but I mean, like this, but I mean, it's just keep at it. I mean, I grew up, I had a lot of depression problems. In grade school, I struggled socially with people. I struggled getting along. I mean, it was, I just encourage you to find ways to get active. And you know what? You're going to make mistakes. You're going to have times where you're like, oh, I should have done this, or I should have done this. Just keep on at it, because if you're regretting something, it's because you've learned from the situation. And that's, I think, is one of the big things, because I was the type that if I would go into practices sometimes for sports. I mean, I didn't even touch a basketball until 6th grade. I hated sports. I mean, and all of a sudden, I mean, sports was what changed me. And I mean, that's where, I mean, I go into practices sometimes. I mean, if I made one little mistake, I mean, I'd just be beating myself up to no end. So just get after it and don't be afraid to make mistakes.
Yeah. Guys, listen, proud to have you here. Wow. This is a congratulations, Ashland. You have given this area, your Ashland sports, but let me also say, Ashland coaches, couldn't be a bigger fan. Jason,
Yes.
mate, just Coach Jason, thank you so much. You are exactly who this area needed to lead these boys. And gosh, it's an honor to have you and your family here, by the way, because Coach's wife is one of the greatest parts of Ashland Middle School. Love how she loves the kids. Again, we're just honored to have you guys here. And wow, proud of the teams. And again, listen, guys, just as he said, keep going. Find out the gifts that you have and keep pushing it. Get better. Make mistakes. Push it so hard that you make mistakes, right? Push it hard enough. But you'll get better from those mistakes too. So proud of you guys. Hope you guys have an amazing day. And man, who knows what happens? Maybe you're going to be on national TV for doing what you love. It has happened. It just happened. So guys, have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow.